Hello, I'm back. Awebo. Yeah. uh, sorry, I got a package exactly as I was starting up the stream. Hello, everybody. Hey, we're getting started. So I'm announcing the streams on Discord. One day I won't have to do that anymore because Awebo will do that automatically. Today is not that day yet, though. Oh, I see. JM Stevers. How do I pronounce your name? Should I call you Jim? I see that you're getting a linker error. Man, that sucks. And I have no idea what it is that you're getting. Like why you're getting this error. Look at the Awebo channel in Discord, um, Matt. Okay. Give me a sec because I need to make tea and then we are gonna start. Do. You know what? I'm also gonna put a countdown. Okay, stream start. Okay, tea is brewing. What is web app? Self-hosted Git interface like Git? It's Codeberg. And it is not self-hosted, or well, it's not self-hosted by us. It's self-hosted by Codeberg EV, German company. It is not exactly Git. It's a fork of Git called Forjo. Okay, hello everybody. So hello everybody. Hello, hello. Hey Andrew, you're interested in full text search? Um, I assume I can mostly copy how chat messages work. Yeah, it's an even simpler situation, right? The way I would do it as a starting point, it's not necessarily the ultimate right idea, but you send a request from the client with the query inside, and here there's a bunch of constraints about the query, right? But you don't have to implement all of them right away. You can do a simplified version when, for now, you even assume that the user can only do they can only search for like terms without any weird constraints. So as a starting point, so you send a request like this from the client to the server, and then the server produces um, a list of messages, and you need to make a new protocol struct to represent the reply from the server, and that contains a list of messages, and that's kind of it as a starting point. Then obviously there's more stuff that needs to happen to make it cool, but do dash dash help messages are hugely out of date with actual commands. Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's error prone. You mean like introducing CLI parsing dependency? I'm against that for now. Yeah, it sucks when they go out of sync, but I don't want a dependency for that. In any case, if you do move forward with this stuff, again, it is fine if you do. Here's my recommendation: don't try to do everything at once. Try to do it step by step. You don't have to fulfill every single requirement right away. Make sure that you have a piece of UI that can show these results that looks kind of reasonable. Like, here's my suggestion: make it like a pop-up window. It's not good looking. It's not how it should be in the end, maybe, but it works, and so that can be the starting point, and then do the networking, and yeah, and then we can refine it from there. Okay, let me see, how are we doing with the tea? Okay, not bad. In any case, I'm happy to chat about this issue as much as you want. Also here in the issue itself, that's the best place where to chat. You might be tempted to chat about this stuff in and do all the discussion in Discord. Don't. Anything that is about like these issues, let's have the discussion on the right place, at the right place, on the right tool. What you get what I mean. Uh, okay, 30 seconds to the T. So what are we doing today? I think I have some refactoring to do. Not too much. I have a bit of refactoring, and then after the refactoring is done, maybe we can work on the initial message synchronization between client and server. Because it is fine, but it is not fully formally correct, and I think it's about time that we make that stuff fully correct. I'll explain that once we get there, I guess. Also, check out my new prompt. I'll be right back. I'm back. I noticed the closing the GUI hangs. That is a thing that was introduced with the new update. The GUI didn't used to hang. I think this is because the cleanup procedure is not fully correct, and I think the new Zig, well, the new implementation of IO.threaded waits for all tasks to be completed, and I think that we probably failed to do that correctly. So either me or the VUI fails at that. The problem is that right now, um, the VUI is in a weird spot because it wants to have control of the main function, but then it's not fully aware of, the VUI is not fully integrated with Juicy main. And so a few things are awkward right now. For example, known folders is broken right now because we don't have access to the environment because the VUI has main, but then it doesn't surface to us um, environment and other stuff. Okay, I just want to take a sip of my tea and then we can start. When should refactoring be desired, and what is the scope for it? That is a complicated question. Um, it depends a lot on which project you're working on. I would say that as you program and gain experience, you kind of get a feeling for when it's a good idea or not a good idea to do refactoring. And then, depending on your priorities and other people's priorities, there might still be disagreements. Um, in this case, I'm making changes so that I'm like cleaning up things that I left in a messy state in the past because it was just me doing it, so I didn't care. But now that there's other people contributing, I'm trying to make the whole thing easier to contribute to. Andrew, stop hyper focusing on the fucking CLI. Do not worry, man. It's inconsequential. Think about features. Fix the error messages if they are out of sync. Sorry, the help messages if they are out of sync. But like masturbating over all these infrastructural stuff, it's useless. We are so far behind with everything else. We can worry about making these things cutesy and nicey in the future. We don't even have voice right now. Like we're or rather we have the basics of voice, right? But we don't have like good voice and we don't have good messages. That should be our first priority. Okay, so let me pull. Up to date, perfect. Um, Next thing that we're doing is so just to show how things are a bit in a weird state. Let me show the main GUI function. So in the main GUI function, uh, we have an init function and then we have a frame function. And the init function gives us access to the DVUI window. And the DVUI window is the one that can give us access to GPA and std.io. But otherwise, we don't have that, or rather, kinda, because there is, I think, a function for specifying the IO implementation. Maybe I think there's a way of overriding the IO implementation, but it's not controlled by us. And the problem is that DVUI wants control of the main, and we don't. You see, every backend has its own main function, so it's not something we can trivially take control over of. Anyway, this is kind of a weird situation. I think what needs to happen is that we start seeing all the rest of. We basically see the init struct, the juicy main init struct available in the VUI window, and we go from there, I guess. Anyway, okay, what are we doing next? We're going to core.zig, and we are removing some global variables, maybe. So we have a global IO. And oh yeah, also look at this thing. We have a threaded IO in here. So here's why it's hanging probably. Because we have two threaded IOs, one made by DVUI, one made by us, and yeah, master branch. We're tracking master branch. So I think the fact that we have two IO threaded in the past was fine, and now it's not as fine anymore. Also, I don't think we're de-anything these IO threaded. Although not de-anything it would be the right move in the sense of avoiding hangs. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna nuke all these things. I'm gonna nuke these guys, and we're gonna expect them to be given to us. So unless we do this, no, but no, there's no need to do it this way. Okay, take this out. Now there's gonna be a bunch of complaints because a bunch of things want GPAs and IOs and they don't have these things. So we're gonna need to fix all of them. Run. So let's do it like this. Run takes IO, GPA, allocator. Um, And now we start fixing. Okay, let's go into main client GUI. So init gives refresh. Global stuff I'm not gonna touch. Core future, core run, IO, GPA. This would be win.io and win.gpa. I don't like how Flow deals with auto-completion. And that is just an interface. Okay. So we do this. Okay, and now we try to fix all these things one by one. So this is gonna be my life for the next 30 minutes or so. Um, hang tight, I guess. Sync. Yeah, no, there's no IO in here. Hmm. Unused GPA? Wait, what? I thought we were using GPA in here somewhere. We were not. Okay. Oh shit. We don't have IO because uh to get IO we need current window. What was the GitHub like web app? It's Codeberg. It's an alternative to these to GitHub. God damn it, neuroside. This thing that where if auto completion triggers and you select something, it kills what was to the right of the cursor. That, man, I don't know. It's a choice, that is for sure. But I find it too uncomfortable. Yeah, look, the core state is gone. You know what? If this guy really doesn't need it, then we don't give it to it. So never mind. Okay, you know what? Let's not get too let's not get too excited. For now, we'll leave it at that. Oh, it's not error style, right? Error style minimal. Wait, why am I back here? God fucking damn it. 40. Yeah. Oh, this is actually GPA. Mhm. Are you liking Flow compared to Helix? Uh, so, well, I'm using Helix mode in Flow. So basically, I'm not changing keybinds. I'm suffering a little bit because Helix mode is not fully implemented yet. There are some commands that are missing and some minor bugs. Um, but I mean, I knew that that was going to be the case. So I hope that Neurosite implements these missing things sooner than later. And other than that, it is fine. In some ways, it's better than Helix. In some ways, it's a little bit less mature. But I've used Helix since when it was very like much more immature than it is today. So um, I can cope. Uh, I'm liking it. I think I think it's a good editor. I think there are some things that still need to be figured out though. Like the way in which error messages are reported is awesome in Flow. I really like this like a bottom panel that you can collapse. Um, but I think it's overused. I think that sometimes you have things that kind of like fight one another because they all want to stay down here. And I think some of these things should be pop-up menus, in my opinion, like they are in Helix. Um, my editor is this bad boy here. Hey, Soto D, thank you. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Holy shit, 6 months? Okay. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Uh, so what were we doing? Oh, we're copy pasting stuff around. No, but the point is that the error messages are actually fine. It's the other stuff that kind of wants to fight with them. So in a sense, it's the other features that, in my opinion, need to find a better home. Like go to a reference, that kind of stuff. For me, LSP is not really too much about reporting errors. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate. I like it. So I do leverage it. But to me, the key point of this stuff is go to definition. Like go to definition on whatever implementation, and I'm there. Space K to see documentation and signature of stuff. So I was hoping to find something that had like some documentation. There we go. This has some documentation. So so this stuff is good. Um, I think I think it's a downgrade to not have that stuff when not use that stuff when it's available to you. GPA is unused. Okay. ZLS does use watch. ZLS cannot use incremental for everything because incremental doesn't work on every platform, and I don't know if it knows when it can use incremental or not. So I think it might be that currently it does not use incremental, but it does use watch, which is already pretty good. But yeah, eventually it will. Once incremental is supported everywhere, and it's not just like a beta feature, like then it will use it obviously everywhere. So you'll get basically the same mileage out of either running a Zig in a window by yourself or having ZLS run that for you. So yeah, as you can see, we now need IO in here, and we don't have IO in here. So to get IO in here, we need to do this. Also, this function style new, what was it name? New host floating window, new host floating window. But it needs IO. Or you know what? Oh, I guess we can. We already are doing it for GPA, as you can see here, so we can do this. There we go. Okay. Oh wait, it's the function that doesn't say that it wants. There you go. Don't have GPA. What's the list? Oh, it's another function. Mm, good. What's the next problem? Media. Hmm. So we had static initialization of this stuff. Play out buffers, huh? Well, that means that this needs to be an array hash map unmanaged. There you go. Mm-mm-mm-mm. And now we just have a bajillion errors that we need to fix. Okay. I think we should do it like this. Var GPA. And then on activate, you give me IO, you give me GPA. So we do it like this. Empty. Okay. To be fair, I think that this needs to be reset. Well, everything is undefined. This guy is not being reset, by the way. This is a bad thing. Wait a second. Why is this guy not being reset? Oh, we do cold clear retaining capacity. Okay. Where do we do that? In deactivate. Oh no, this is retaining capacity. Never mind. I don't know. Probably also GPA. Yeah. Like this. Express type IO.socket found pointer. What? Okay, it's this. No. Hmm. Oh, we built. Okay, so we're done with this. So Zig build server run. Let's see the client running. Still works, but also hangs when closing. It also tries to reconnect. What? So something goes wrong in the disconnection procedure. That is for sure. Like shutting down core from UI, and that clearly goes wrong because these exits, disconnected, sleeping, and then reconnected. So I think that the reconnection, the thing that attempts to reconnect, has the problem that it doesn't know when it's actually time to close for real. So there's an error.cancel that doesn't get propagated correctly or something like that. Let's fix this next. Hmm. So I think we need to look at network. Whenever we do the reconnection thing, here we try to reconnect, but let's double check that we have a condition for like properly failing. So the idea is we connect once, so we succeed, and we call run host manager fallible. What happens if this guy returns canceled? We log canceled. Do we see canceled in this stuff? No, we see this guy exit, but we don't see anything that says that we were canceled. So the problem, maybe, I don't know, is that this guy doesn't return with canceled. Why does it not return with canceled? Oh, because it does catch return. So so yeah, we're just not making a distinction. I think I regress this. Let's see what happens if we do it this. There we go. Okay, something else goes out of whack. But we do see canceled. So we successfully return saying, okay, we're being canceled, so um we don't retry. What did go wrong? Group task acknowledged cancellation but did not return error not canceled. Okay, these are the new rules then. That that means that I guess this guy has to return error dot canceled. The problem is that that other error is a thing. So error dot closed can come from which one is these guys can it come from? Um do we actually see it here? Do we see it in the build error where error dot cancel can originate from? 92. Well, maybe the reference trace would tell us, I don't know. Um I guess it's one of these guys, the one of these guys that plays with a queue. Because TCP has a queue, I believe. So this reads, oh, this puts, oh, there we go. This tries to put from the queue. So I guess both, because this guy tries to put to a queue, and this guy probably pulls from a queue. Okay. So both might. Oh yeah, but that doesn't matter because here we are directly accessing the queue here. So there's also this. Well, that means that we just need a new branch. Expected type void. Okay, there we go. And now we're back to just leaking memory, which we should probably address. But that's fine. Okay, so um, yeah, just a little bit of leaked memory. I mean, happens to everybody. That's why you wear underpants. So let's do this. Well, I mean, it's a long running application. So right now we are probably leaking memory that we shouldn't be leaking, but I guess one step at a time. So I'm gonna commit, remove usage of global IO and GPA in GUI client. Well, in client. Okay, we have these. You know what we should have that we currently don't have, like CI. And I think that we should make sure that we have is CI. I think so. I've never set up CI on Codeberg, and I believe that MLAG has ported setup Zig to Codeberg. Matt, do you happen to be still alive? Maybe I should ping him regardless so he can help me. Or you're here. Okay, so am I correct in stating that we have set up Zig on Codeberg? Is there a repository that I can use to take inspiration from to see what the new delightful YAML stuff looks like? I'm guessing it's probably very close to what we had before on GitHub, but almost identical. Okay. Um, if that, let's put this to the test. Oh shit, I deleted the two. Translate C. Okay, let's take a look at what we had before. Name, build and test on, push branches main, pull request branches main, workflow dispatch. I don't think we need workflow dispatch. Runs on. Oh, we had a matrix of OSs which we don't have. So we want this. We want not this. We do only Linux for now. Actions checkout v2, maybe. Setup Zig v2. Install system dependencies, lib a sound dev, lib pulse dev, lib glfw3 dev. I guess we should probably comment that part out. Zig build CI. Audio dummy, target Windows, and then normal. Did you see my last comment? I did not. How much bandwidth just one does just one Discord server with say 15 people connected talking text and sending pictures use? I don't know. I would assume a trivial amount of bandwidth. Like I would assume that if you have a 4 euro a month DigitalOcean droplet, you should have plenty of bandwidth left over by the end of the month. I suspect that a $4 droplet can probably support easily a like 50 people Discord server, like active 50 people. That's my guess. I guess it depends also a lot on. I'm sure that you can do a significantly better or worse job at making your Discord alternative um, efficient. So depending on that, you might be $4 might be too enough or not. But I would say this is the ballpark. Like I would find it very surprising that you need to pay for more than a €10 a month, $10 a month droplet for most uh, Discord servers. If you're like if you're a like popular Twitch streamer and you have like a bajillion people running around, have a gigantic community, then yeah, maybe you need something more than that. But I would say normally that should not be a problem. And when it comes to like attachments, pictures, and stuff, it depends on like Awebo will certainly have uh limits in you as the server admin can say that users can only upload files up to, I don't know, 5 megabytes per file, and every individual user can use at most, I don't know, like 50 megabytes worth of space, for example. And at that point, what I would expect is that for you, the biggest problem is that if you have a bunch of users, they start filling up your hard drive. But again, hard drives, it's easy to get a big hard drive. And at the same time, I think that we're going to have S3 support, S3 protocol support. So if you really want to have your users go ham with file uploads, then you just point your thing at an S3 bucket or something comparable, and then you just pay whatever the cloud wants you to pay for the blob storage. Actually, I think that DigitalOcean has its own blob storage. Does it not? Are you the person who did a talk on HTML LSP? I did give a talk on that stuff. Yes, I did. If I'm the one that you're thinking about, I'm not sure. So, for example, $5 per month as a blob storage gives you 250 gigabytes of storage, 1 terabyte of outbound transfer, and then you get charged 2 cents per extra gigabyte. I mean, that doesn't seem too bad. Would each separate instance need its own bucket? Yeah, this is a self-hosted. So you make a server for you and your friends. This is not like Discord, as in we're making like another company like Discord. This is a piece of open source software that you install in on your own. Like you rented a server, or I don't know, put it on your computer at home or on a Raspberry Pi, whatever you want. You set it up yourself. You invite people, and then and then I'll have mine, etc. Okay, what's in the CI build step? Step CI, run the steps for CI. Depends on install on b.get install step. Depend on install artifact of audio backend. Okay. Let's see. Discord uses 64 kilobytes of audio bandwidth by default. 15 people talking straight for 1 hour is half a gigabyte of bandwidth. I think that is too much because I think. Okay, let me double check. So the bitrate being 64 kilobytes per second doesn't mean that you really send 64 kilobytes per second over the wire, does it? Because I think that after Opus compression, like that is the audio quality. It means that you're producing an audio stream where between where you basically you produce 64 kilobytes of data per second, but only after you decompress it. I think that when you like as I was testing um Opus bandwidth, you mean Opus compressed bandwidth? When I was testing this stuff myself, Opus would be sending like very few bytes per second, very few bytes per packet. Okay, so if you're convinced that that is the case, then that would mean half a gigabyte for 1 hour of discussion with 15 people. Also, I here's where I think your math is wrong for sure, though. If you took 64 kilobytes and multiplied it by 15, that is definitely not the case. Because what happens in a real conversation is that people don't talk over each other. So, um, well, or rather, wait, no, because only one person at a time speaks, but then you have to send audio to everybody. So I guess you have 64 kilobytes times per second times like one person of ingress, like the packets being sent to you, you being the server, and then you have and then you need to send out 15 copies of it, or well, 14, like n minus one copies of that same audio to everybody else. Um, so anyway, but in any case, I remember in the past hosting TeamSpeak, and like I have never ever once had to worry about bandwidth usage. In the past, the only thing that would burn bandwidth from VPSs that I owned was setting up like a Call of Duty server on the machine with a bunch of modded maps. And basically, the act of uploading this data to the server would burn through my monthly budget real fast. But that was it. Yeah, screen sharing is definitely much more intense. I cannot do any. I don't have a feeling for it though, because I don't know how compression algorithms behave with video. With audio, Opus is mind-blowingly good. Like it's stupid how good it is. So, for example, what Andrew is reporting here, this would match my expectations more. Hello, Diablo. Okay, so we have a CI step. It doesn't seem too bad. Let's test locally if it's like even remotely functioning. Okay, it succeeds. Let's watch it fail. Let's put a bug in core. Let's watch the step fail. It does. Perfect. Okay, so it's a reasonable subcommand to run. This targets Windows. Uh, this should target also Arch 64 Mac OS. Windows should actually be commented out. Also, these should be separate commands, I think. Like build native or build Linux. Well, build native. Actually, you know what? Let's do build Linux. Or, okay, build dummy audio. I don't know what that does, but let's assume that we need it. Then build Linux. And then build Windows. But this last one we want to comment out because we know the Windows doesn't work. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Okay, let's see. Let's watch our first CI run fail horribly. Well, proper CI. We're running on Codeberg Tiny. Let's see if Codeberg Tiny is going to be big enough. Boom, setup job already failed. Man, what did I do wrong? Unable to clone data forjo mlag setup Zig. Reps head we do. Authentication required. Unauthorized. You need to pass the URL to my action. Oh. Well, it's force push time. So HTTPS codeberg.org/mlog. I wouldn't mind mandating 81. I think the problem. Oh, let's see. We can link things similar to Opus. I'm thinking we go something 81. The thing that we need to keep in mind is that we need to make sure that whatever we choose is also doable for like mobile devices. So, for example, um, let's say that I don't know, Apple devices just cannot work with AV1 hypothetically. Then maybe we need to consider if we want to support a fallback. I'm in favor of not going ham with combinations and like possibilities and like 15 different thingies, 15 different like compression thingies. But well, fuck. Oh no. Um. Wait, what? Okay. Any suggestions? Oh, it's the APET update thing. Yeah, you're probably right. Did I fuck up the command? It's apt update, right? Or is it apt get update? Well, let's hope that apt update is good enough. apt will work my break randomly one day. Okay. Then we'll live dangerously. Do you want to continue? Yes, no, abort. Oh god, man. Uh apt, what is it? Dash Y to install, to accept. Oh, we crashed flow also. apt is for human. Okay. So okay, so people are saying the switch to apt get. Okay. Hopefully the dash Y is a thing. Nobody told me that the dash Y is not a thing, so I'm ad libbing, by the way. I have no idea if the dash Y is a thing. Well, I switched to apt get, so let's see if the timing machine is gonna be able to do the full build. Building this dummy audio is taking surprisingly a long time. Actually, dummy audio is should be very trivial to build. Well, no, okay, because this is building, this is making a full build of everything plus dummy audio. Okay. Error, process terminated with signal kill. I think we ran out of memory. I think this might be too much for our tiny machine. Okay. So ci.yaml. Let's go with let's add Q so that it's quiet, I'm guessing. And so from tiny we have to go to I think small. Let's go to small. Man, CI work is always delightful. All the dead moments, the very slow feedback loop, um, the YAML everywhere, machines that you can't fully inspect. Such a good time. Such a good time. I have to use C currently at work for embedded. I really want to use Zig instead. My boss is scared of compiler quirks. Uh, Easy. Your boss shouldn't be, because uh, Zig, when compiling C, uses Clang. So you're not gonna get any quirk compiling C code. With the only difference that the CLI interface will, for example, try to make a like, you need to cross compile if you want to make a release of your software. So my point is, like, Zig is not exactly one to one to Clang, so you will have to think your stuff through just a tiny little bit. But there's no like weirdo compiler quirks because it's Clang. Okay, the queue is not really doing much. They're saying they want to use Zig instead of C, not just Zig as a C compiler. Oh, then I misunderstood. What do you think about replacing C with Zig? So the way I would suggest this, um, not just in terms of like how to sell the idea to somebody, but also just like genuinely, in my opinion, a good way of going at it is, don't try immediately to replace your C code with Zig. What you can do, I'm assuming that you already have some C code that you have to maintain. So what you can do is you start by using Zig as the compiler and getting rid of makefiles, CMake, and all that jazz, and you replace that with a build.zig. So your actual stuff stays C, but you improve the toolchain around it. You make it easier to compile, more portable, more self-contained, reduce the number of dependencies, because in a C project you have the C compiler, and then you have make, and then you have CMake. So you replace all these three dependencies, you replace them with just one, Zig. Then after that, what you can do is that you can take it step by step. So you can have your project still stay as a mainly C project, but then you add a Zig compilation unit to it, where something that is not too critical and dangerous, you start implementing in Zig, and then you link that to your uh, main C program, and then after that you take it step by step. Does it support STM32 MCUs? Um, I think yes. I think Matt Knight recently was posting about blinking some LEDs on that. Well, those are ARM CPUs, right? I'm not an expert, sorry, of when it comes to embedded devices. I've never really done much, but those are pretty common, aren't they? Show off. Let's see. So if you want information specifically about embedded devices, check this out. Zig Embedded Group. So Zig Embedded Group is all the people that do embedded stuff. The main thing they work on is um, MicroZig, which is uh, which is a what's it called? A HAL. It's an outer abstraction layer, basically. So they're working on this stuff. So my recommendation is I'll share the website. Also, apologies for the. I'll send also on YouTube. Apologies for the light mode page. Okay. So like join the Discord server. They will be able to answer all these questions with much more detail. Yeah, I blinded myself as well. Okay, how's our CI going? We're still building dummy audio. No, it seems that we failed somehow. No field or member named format in dummy device iterator. Oh no. You know what happened here? First of all, this should have context deadline exceeded. Well, this should have failed already on its own, right? Once it reaches here, then it should just die. So here's what happened. We never updated the dummy stuff, the audio dummy stuff for Linux probably. Because all of these audio stuff obviously has like per target switches. And I think the problem is that I tried to. Is it the audio dummy? Yeah, the audio dummy. Oh, never mind. The audio dummy doesn't even build here. Okay, let's look at dummy. Line 3. There's no root app. There's no app.audio. Oh man. Why are we doing this exactly? Why do we have a dummy backend? I guess it is so that you can build it on platforms that don't have. But why is it trying to import app from root? And then it does app.audio. What is root in this context? Because I guess it's not this file. Oh, I guess it's audio test. This is our root file. So what is app? You know what? I'm starting to think that maybe this dummy stuff we should. You know what? We don't wire it here. Comment it out. Let's see how it goes. Uh, but I find it worrying that we did not have just an immediate failure, and instead it was like lingering there for some reason. Anyway, so for all the people watching, since I see that there's more people than usual, for context, we are working on a Discord alternative. The idea is that this Discord alternative should be self-hostable. It's called Awebo, like the noise that some birds make. And you can see also my prompt is one of those birds now. And what else? It's written in Zig. We're doing it from scratch, minimal dependencies. Try to do as many things as we can on our own. Ideally, better than how dependencies normally do them. And yeah, that's the idea. And the idea is that I plan to take my Discord community off Discord by the end of the year. We'll see. The goal is also to see if well, obviously it's not just my community. Hopefully some other communities will also want to move to this kind of platform. And then the hope is also that we can move the ZSF discussion, like right now the Zig Software Foundation has a Zulip for the development of Zig. And Zulip is not bad, but man, the audio, it doesn't have audio features. So it sends you to Jitsi, which is a horrible platform. I hate Jitsi. So it's not a client for Discord? Oh, no. No. Not at all. Like, if you make a client for Discord, at the end of the day, it's still Discord, right? So maybe you make let's say that you make a better client. Um, but even then, you're limited by what Discord can do. I'll give you one example. One thing that we can trivially improve on. There's a lot of things that hopefully we'll be able to make better for us. And by the way, the point is not necessarily that uh, they're dumb and we're smart, so we can do better than them. That it's not necessarily it. It's also just that Discord has a specific audience in mind, right? Discord is for gamers, and it's full of gamer shit and things that we don't care as much about. So this thing that we're making is mainly aimed at open source software development teams. So like distributed software development teams. And but here's one thing where we can improve trivially. Right now with Discord, you cannot connect from more than one device at a time um to a voice channel from the same account. So like if you have two computers and you want to join from both computers, or like from a computer and a phone, the same voice channel, and both devices are connected to the same account, only one at a time can connect to a voice channel. So uh, that is definitely something that a limitation that we will not have in Awebo. Hi, Christoph. Do you need to redo the IO for Awebo once the new Zig release lands, or how do you approach this? We're chasing master branch. So one thing that we've had to do in the last couple of days is update everything to the latest version of Zig. Um, so we are using all the new IO fancy stuff. In part, the reason why we're working on this project is also so that we can have one project that makes heavy use of async IO, and we can use it as a as a benchmark, as a way of dog fooding basically the async IO API. So somehow we failed the build because we're missing A sound and pulse. But also, why does this fail and then we get stuck here? Once this fails, we should be able to proceed, right? Why is this failing and then lingering? I'm not sure. And then it keeps lingering probably until it reaches some kind of like deadline. In any case, we have this stuff installed because we do install those dependencies, but I think we're missing some other package that is critical. So, good people in chat, can you remind me, how do you get access to um is it PKG? It's PKG config, right? That we're missing. How do you get PKG config on Linux? I'm guessing it's not just PKG config. Let's see, install PKG config. Is it just PKG config? Okay, cool. I'm guessing that that's what we're missing. Man, this CI work is truly delightful. Yeah, but I don't have it. I guess well, no, that's NixOS. I don't have it, man. I'm Ubuntu free. Well, I'm Debian free. Yeah, it's a very nice experience. What can I say? So in any case, for the people who are curious, maybe let's do a demo. I haven't been doing a demo because the regulars already know how what is it that we have working or not. So I'm gonna do a demo for everybody. Oh, let me pause the music because otherwise YouTube is gonna go insane. Okay, so check this out. So while we wait, run the server. Although we need to run the server with the echo, so that basically the D echo flag makes a build of the server that echoes back to you your own voice when you're in when you join a voice channel, and that is important for um, well, for testing, because otherwise I would need to join a voice channel from two accounts and it would be all kinds of annoying. By the way, this UI, as you can see, is complete crap. You can make good UIs with this framework. This is like a deliberate choice that I made to not focus on making the UI any good. This is like just the basics to get something out the door. So this is me sending messages. So you can send messages. Okay, then you can join a voice channel. I'm gonna join it, and in theory, if everything works correctly, also we can go into settings and we can see my audio devices. So that means that I should have my audio, my microphone should be connected to this computer, hopefully. Oops, I closed it. I did not want to do that. I did that by mistake. But if we go to audio, which I guess is sound in here. Okay. Can we get feedback from my microphone? Yeah. So you can see that it's working. It gets my microphone input. Okay. Let's see if it works. Test. Test. So I don't hear anything. Oh, no, it works. Wait, the volume is too low. Test. There we go. Now you can hear it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's the demo. Thank you. Oh no, it's stuck. Why is it getting stuck now? Also, oh, you know why? It's because we're not killing the audio threads. Like in our shutdown, we turned on audio, but I guess we didn't shut it down. New IO in Ziggy is very picky about you having to make sure you close everything. Huh. No, we still get the same problem. Unable to find a sound and pulse. That sucks. That really sucks. I don't know how to solve this. Yeah, why are the search paths none? Good question. In theory, those should be not none, because if you have pkg config, then pkg config should tell you, I think, where to find this stuff. So I don't know. Just an idea because I stumbled upon it yesterday. For text messages, why not support XMPP? Because all of those protocols are big, complicated, and are you missing a C compiler? I don't know. Maybe build essentials. Okay, so I did need to install more than just pkg config, huh? Let's install build essentials. I guess build essentials also covers pkg config, but whatever. So why not XM decentralized servers? No federation. So Awebo is not going to support any form of federation, and it is not going to support any of these uh, inter-exchange protocols. Oh, did I fuck it up? I think I typed it right. Did I? Oh shit. Yeah, no, I know, but I also knew what the right name was. I just didn't connect my brain. So yeah, I mean, on one end, you can argue that interoperability is good, but also the point is that interoperability also forces you to, well, for it to have any meaning, for it to actually work, it forces you also to, it prevents you from being able to do weird stuff. So, for example, we're going to have different types of channels, and every kind of channel will have different semantics. So, for example, um, read Uncle's message from above. You're passing the target native Linux is cross compiling. Fuck, that is a very good point. And you know why I did that? It's just because I wanted the first thing to kind of guarantee that it was Linux. Uh, okay, thank you. Native Linux, native if you want. Uh, okay. Well, let's see how it goes with this. So what was he saying? So for example, here one thing that I want to do. Different than Discord. Discord has text channels for voice channels, but those are like real text channels. They just have a weird way of accessing them, and and I it's better to have them than not to have anything, because originally Discord did not have any text channel associated with a voice channel. So you, if you wanted to have like a text channel where to paste links, that you mentioned, right? You wanted to give a link to other people in the voice discussion, you had to create a dedicated text channel. Then they did that for you automatically, but the UI around them is kind of ass. But I also think that it makes no sense for those channels to have permanent messages. I think those channels should be it should work kind of like an IRC channel. Basically, you only see the contents of that text channel if you are connected to the voice channel and you are present when the message is sent. And if you're not, then you miss it. And I think that is fine. Um, those are disabled in my home Discord. Those weird hidden voice channels are where messages go to die. Yeah. But at the same time, a scratchpad channel is useful, right? To just to send links and like to, or somebody is muted and they cannot speak, so they want to send a text message to reply to somebody else. In the meantime, that makes sense to want to do, and I think that it should not. It should be possible, but it also should not create a garbage dump channel, which is what basically Discord is doing. So, what is the point here? The point is that that's going to be a channel that has IRC semantics in a sense. And then there's going to be normal channels that have persistent messages. And then there might be more channels with different things that we come up with. So, for example, Discord already has forum channels. We could have our own take on forum channels, for example. And no more. I think that it would make sense also to have a channel where basically instead of like jerry rigging it with bots and a bunch of other things, you make a channel where every top level entry is a basically you make a like a hacker news or like lobsters style channel where, or Reddit channel if you will, where basically people post stuff and then is there's like a system where you have upvotes, for example, and newer stuff tries to go to the top, that kind of stuff. I don't know. Actually, really dislike text chats which disappear, like the chat bars in Jitsi and Google Meet. I invariably want to go and search for a random link from 6 months ago, and there's not really any harm to just keeping those messages around. Yeah, but then I don't know. I hate this stuff, honestly. You know what? It could be configurable, I guess, but um, I find that scavenging to I see that as like going through rummaging through the trash, basically. Okay, wait, is there no feedback? I guess there is no feedback because it's actually happening. Does Codeberg have his own CI/CD system, or does it use Drone or something else? Is it self-hosted? Codeberg has its own CI/CD system, I guess. Should we call it Codeberg Actions? The tab is called Actions, so yeah. The control plane is part of Codeberg. The runners, you can have your own, but they also give you free runners that you can use. You shouldn't expect this stuff to be the same as GitHub, so they don't have Codeberg is not run by a cloud company, but this is what we're using right now. Although it seems that also the small machine might be a little bit too small for what we're trying to do here, which is not that much, but man, it's been running for 3 minutes and we don't see the light yet. Yeah, Codeberg also has Woodpecker, but I think the Woodpecker stuff is basically deprecated and being phased out. The new hotness is Forjo Actions. So what was the time limit? Uh-oh. There we go. What was the time limit? Boom. That was the time limit. Okay, so we upgrade to medium and we pray that medium is good enough for us. And if it's not, then we need to bring our own machines. Yeah. You know what? Does Blacksmith support Codeberg? I think we should ask this Blacksmith people to start supporting Codeberg. They probably don't care because they are never gonna get a fraction of the money that they're gonna get from GitHub. But hey, uh, man, this new website they used to have a nicer website in my opinion. I don't love this new rebrand. Blah. Uh, Silicon Valley being Silicon Valley, huh? So if we end up setting up our own runner, I guess I'm gonna get what's the cheapest machine that we can get for this? I mean, we have such tiny requirements. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that we might we might be naughty. And since I have mirroring set up against GitHub, we could still keep GitHub actions. Basically, CI runs on GitHub. You commit to Codeberg, but you watch CI run on GitHub. I guess that would not work with PRs though. That would only work for main branch PRs. Yeah, that would be that's where this whole system collapses, unfortunately. You are not a fan of neo-brutalism? Not really. That especially that style of neo-brutalism, it's like corpo wave brutalism. It's like it's a company trying to look approachable and human, and I find it like extra off-putting because it's not even like it used to be a time where where the company would have a communication style like a visual style that would basically kind of try to tell you, look, we're an institution, you can trust us, we're made of you know, buildings made of marble, run by families that have been genetically engineered to fulfill their role within the company machine for generations and generations. So like we're endless. And I mean, obviously that is also a lie, but at least it's like celebrating the best that a company can offer you. And now instead we have this whole thing where no, we're not a company. We're you know, we're just a quirky dude just like you. And it's like horrible. Absolutely horrible. Literally €5 a month for OVH's lowest tier. Yeah, that is one way of doing it, I guess. OVH. But I think that OVH, you're not talking about VMs, right? At that point, you're talking about you're talking about a server, right? I think that DigitalOcean has €4 a month droplets, but they don't have a lot of memory, so it might not be enough memory. Oh, the OVH one has 8 gigs of RAM? Holy shit. OVH, here we come. Holy fuck. Wait, why am I seeing pounds? No, Matt. What is this stuff? What did you do? You gave me the British. ah, ah. Oh, give me the Italian version. I only care about Italian prices. €3.82. Wait, pound used to be stronger. What happened? That is amazing, actually. Yeah, DigitalOcean doesn't even come close. Holy fuck. Yeah, we're getting one of these bad boys, and like we're done. Wow. CSROOT is required when building SDL for non-native macOS targets. Okay, so it seems that we succeeded at building Linux, but then we failed. Also, why is there no output? I guess there is just no output from the command. We didn't do summary, so yeah. Well, I expected something, like even if there is no output, doesn't the thing... I guess I'm used to the GitHub UI, which doesn't have a one-to-one matching necessarily. Okay. Okay, so the next problem is that we're not doing macOS cross compilation correctly. Right. To be fair, we never attempted to set it up. So you know what we do at this point? Here's what I think we should do. I think our CI, for now, just builds Linux, and that's going to be good enough. for now. That's gonna be good enough for now, and that's it. Well, no, in our case, it's not as simple as that. It's definitely way more complicated. But that's I guess that's a reflection of where we're at with setting up all this infrastructure. So we clearly need we need to fix Windows because it has regressed. Then we need to figure out cross compilation for macOS. Cross compilation for macOS should be doable. We just need to source all the frameworks that we need from Mac Engine Xcode frameworks. The problem is that I think that stuff intertwines with DVUI, so DVUI needs to solve that. You could do Echo Dawn. Yeah, no. What I would do is I would do the summary. I would just do summary all. That's I think what I do normally in my other CI stuff. You know what? Let's add that. There we go. Okay, so this is the last last time we touch CI for this task. Okay, what do we need to do next? I think we should try fixing Windows. So the problem is that ZigWin32 has not been updated, but I think there's a branch with the fixes. So all we have to do is just depend on the branch. Is there a fast and smart CI future? Using incremental compilation, it would maybe bring in cache compile state from ancestor target combo and then incrementally compile or something. If you're talking about caching, like keeping artifacts across CI runs, MLog's extension already does that. Yeah, Setup Zig already does that. I would say the only like a downside of how Setup Zig does things is that it basically has a cache that keeps growing, and you kind of rely on the natural ebb and flow of how cache is handled by these systems to occasionally reset it. Because Zig doesn't have a concept of pruning like all the entries in the cache for now. There's a cache reset threshold. Okay. I think that the end game would be that Zig itself can recognize when cache entries are old enough and just delete them. Um, 0.16 is very unstable. Well, it's not released yet. And yes, you're totally right. It is unstable. Lots of hardcore breaking changes coming into it. But we are targeting 0.16 because we want all the new IO stuff, all the new async IO stuff. So that's why we do what we do. We don't do things because they're easy. We do things because we thought they would be easy. That's how we operate. Anyway, I think that basically this is the thing we should depend on. And okay, let's start by trying to build for Windows. So Zig build -d target x86-64 Windows. Now this is gonna fail. So we have fails into ZigWin, and we have a fail into Wasapi. So let's fix Wasapi. The Wasapi stuff should be not too bad. core.audio. Is that a thing? I guess it is. Okay. So GPA is the only thing that is not like this anymore. Okay, so close wants a GPA. This guy wants a GPA. Oh, the problem is that this is making us change this interface. We have changed these interfaces. Wasapi and dummy. Never mind, dummy doesn't have that. Port audio does though, right? It what the fuck is going on? Oh no. Function defined here, called here in media. Media 101. Wait, where are we in Wasapi? God damn it. Okay, so this guy wants GPA now. Capture, go to definition. This guy wants a GPA, so this guy wants a GPA. This shadows declaration of GPA. Oh, never mind. We have a GPA that we can pass down. Right. This expected zero arguments because we're using the port audio version because ZLS uses Zig build. It doesn't do Zig build dash was Windows, which would select the Wasapi backend. So we pass in an allocator, which we don't use in here. Then what is the next problem? This guy is in the same situation, apparently. Yeah, I know. They can go in ZLS and tell it. But I'm lazy. Okay, are we happy now with Windows? Well, we're not gonna be happy with Windows, but are we happier? No, now Wasapi 132. Oh, we are not using dot syntax, so we can move this up here. This guy does not have GPA. Oh god, so this guy needs to have GPA. Does device iterator have a GPA? It does not. Maybe it should. Oh, well, what do you know? Aha. Okay, we're in pretty good conditions now. Yeah. Server run. When doing the shutdown event set on Windows, we need to pass this argument. This code is not 100% correct because I'm using an IO event and I'm triggering it from a signal. But I'm not sure if this event, like a threaded event, that's fine. But would it work with a green thread event or a stackless coroutine event? I'm not sure. Anyway, also I would say that this whole thing is kind of ass to have to set up yourself. I really think that the IO implementation should have like something to help you do that more easily, I think. Anyway, so now we should successfully fail. Yeah, we failed successfully. Now we fail only because of ZigWin32. Did we regress other platforms in the meantime? We did not. Okay, so we just need to update ZigWin32, maybe, hopefully. Maybe DVUI also needs to do the same because also DVUI depends on this stuff. So this is going to be our repo. fix/Zig16. All your things must use only with only one IO instance. No, that is fine. No, my point is not like other implementation as in you have a bajillion, you have more than one at the same time. My question is, if I change the server to stop using io.threaded and start using io.evented, will I still be able to create a global event that then I can trigger from inside a signal? Will it work? Or will this have, weird consequences? I guess I'm setting the event. I'm not waiting for it. So uh, maybe that counts for something. I don't know. I would imagine that you cannot wait an event. You probably don't want to wait anything in a signal, but you also probably just cannot wait an event like a green thread event inside inside a signal. But we're only setting, so never mind. Okay, so we failed unsuccessfully this time. Discard of capture omitted instead. Man, these fucking Zig developers always adding new build errors. So yeah, this also needs to be fixed, I guess, before we can get Windows working. Out of curiosity, what if this was working? This uppercase enum thing is sus also. Why is this like this and this like this? Yeah, that is not enough. Oh, no, we're back to Wasapi failures. Okay, let's fix Wasapi. Expected 3 arguments found to 197. I keep doing watch and then canceling it, but there we go. We succeeded. Okay, so we almost have Windows working, or well, working maybe might be a big, bit of a strong word. I'm not sure, but it's almost there. Ah. So, how do we do this? I guess I can fork the fork. I can. I think I have a fork of ZigWin32 already. I guess I can take this branch and I can add it to my fork and then make the changes locally, push them, and depend on my fork. Never mind, I might not have a fork of ZigWin32. Is this gonna eat all the space that I have available? No. Okay, I guess it could be worse. Okay, so I want to replicate the change that I made earlier. Zig.zig. Okay, then I want to do git push. Right. Git push set upstream origin /zig system. Permission to Christopher denied to deploy key. What? I lost my ability to push to GitHub. I'm confused. I was able to what? I'm able to push to GitHub normally. What the fuck? Mm, oh, I know what it is. Oh fuck. Yeah. God damn it. Git remote remove origin. Then I'm gonna recreate it, I guess. Yeah, basically I added an SSH key and now it keeps suggesting the SSH key to me as the SSH stuff to me as the default one, but I want to use the URL one. There you go. Okay, so with this, then we can go in here and we can go zig fetch this. That makes everything compiled for Windows. That means that we can also go in CI and re-enable Windows. Um, there's only one thing that I might have been doing wrong. The um, DVUI depends on Zigwin, and I changed Zigwin in cache. So I might have fixed also DVUI's Zigwin, and that might cause a crash. So I don't know. Let's see. Uh, fix Windows build enable Windows CI. Server has the panic to do it mentioned in Discord. Yeah. Well, that one needs to be fixed. Yeah, for sure. But at least now we are in a position where the project is not the bottleneck, right? I'm curious to see if this build will succeed. It is not guaranteed at all that this build will succeed. So I might need to disable Windows still, but yeah, it is a Zig to do. But I mean, we are depending on latest Zig precisely so that we can also um, exercise all these code paths in Zig. Build Linux failed? What? Oh, in audio test. You know what? We didn't run CI. We didn't run Zig build CI, unfortunately. Audio test. This one needs GPA. There is no core GPA. Oh, we didn't fix audio test at all, did we? Oh, snap. So where do we get GPA from? Well, here. Const GPA equals init.gpa. This one wants GPA as well. Are we good? We're good. Um, okay, let's see how we go. Okay, so with this, in theory, we're good also on Windows. The TOEFL, if you're still around, here's what I would suggest. Um, open an issue for it. Even if it's not an issue in our code, open an issue so that it is known that this is the case. Yeah, in Awebo. I can make you a label for this stuff. Okay, we're queued up. Let's see if we can get on the CI at some point. Man, that €4 a month uh, seem definitely a great investment. The more the more I stare at these CI stuff. Hmm. Hello. Oh man. To be fair, we have been using DCI a bunch, so you know what? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do in the meantime. I'm going to OVH and I'm getting a server. By the way, OVH is giving such good like these VPSs are awesome. If the prices are these, I'm switching away from DigitalOcean to OVH. Like with all due respect, I love DigitalOcean, but man, they they really started giving you a worse deal. Oh, wait a second. It's €3 82 month plus VAT. Okay, which amounts to 466, which it's still insanely good compared to DigitalOcean. Huh. 6 cores, 12 gigs of RAM. Oh, there's also SSD. It doesn't say the size, it just says SSD. Okay, well that's a bug in the translation, I guess. Oh, and you so wait. Oh, I see. So if you buy for like 2 years at a time, then it becomes significantly cheaper. Well, to be honest, yeah. Ooh, I could choose Milan for deployment, but nah, I don't think I will. So France, no, man. Why do you want me to keep this server in France? Lindbergh, Germany. Hmm. Hetzner, but Hetzner. Okay, I'll look at Hetzner. But Hetzner, do they also do VPS? Oh yeah, they do VPS. Let's see. Cloud. I've never looked at the VPS offering in uh of Etzner prices. 2 vCPU, 4 gigs of RAM, €3 49 a month. spare 50 cents by going IPv6 only. But there's also Ampere, so I can have an Arch 379. Huh. You need to send them your passport. I should have an Etsnare account. I used to have an Etsnare machine, man, but I haven't logged in like ages. Oh my god, login, console, robot, console HDNS. I don't know, man. I don't remember. What the fuck is that stuff? Ugh. So 379 for an ARM machine, 4 GB of RAM, 40 GB of space. Oh, so Linux build has succeeded. Oh man, enjoy the summary. Build the Windows is running. And it's not failing immediately, so that makes me hopeful. So we might be in a good position. Well, you know what? Okay, so I'll think about it a little bit more. Since we have two competitors in a sense, I would be more inclined to do Hetzner over OVH, simply because I think that I don't know. I've always had my servers in German data centers, and well, no, I also used OVH, and I remember occasionally having weirder connectivity towards towards OVH than Hetzner, and that was because I had my servers in France. I don't know. It's been a long time, so maybe these things don't even matter anymore at all. Well, in any case, we can enjoy watching the timer go up for the Windows build. Yeah. Also, if we can do ARM, honestly, I think that I would prefer an ARM CI. Matt, what's your opinion? ARM or x86? I'm becoming an ARM fanboy. Not because I really care about the brand, but like with Mac, why just one? Oh man. Look, I'm not made of money. What do you want me to have? Next thing you're gonna ask me to even get like an appropriate Windows machine. I thought we had cross compilation so that we could uh be turbo poor and and not have to get other CIs. No, you know what? You know what I'm thinking. Jokes aside, you know what I think is the move. I think the move is um the move is to use the for PRs the CI the Codeberg CI, and then for main branch just abuse the fuck out of GitHub, or abuse. I mean, quote unquote abuse, but like just use all the machines that GitHub gives you for free. If you think about it, PRs are covered. Yes, the CI, the type of run that you will do is going to be less thorough than the one that you run on master branch, but that's fine. And you don't have to set anything up, and you can just you know keep piggybacking on GitHub for as long as you can until the ship fully goes down the underwater. Okay, looking at how long it took for building Linux, I think the last time it took about 5 minutes. So hopefully we should be getting there also with Windows. I have Windows on ARM. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you have that condition. I hope that you get better soon. Okay, Windows succeeded. So Windows did indeed succeed, for real, no joke. And that's it. Congrats. We have Green CI, which also covers Windows. Windows then doesn't run, but you know, yeah, exactly. Okay, I think this is it for me today. So not none of the development has been insanely high octane, super entertaining. I apologize for this. A bunch of it was refactoring and then CI. Actually, it fucking sucked. I'm sorry, but that's the reality of it. So what I'm gonna do next time is start working on proper message synchronization between client and server. It already works. So like right now, if you open the server and then open the client, I'll show this before leaving. But if you have a running server, which I do, and then I do Zig build GUI, and I run the client, and I go in here, I can see my old messages. So even if I reset the client, like delete all the temporary data, I will still see these messages in here. And if I open like a second instance, shall we do it? Shall we go? Shall we go crazy? We're going crazy, okay? Everybody, hold on, hold on to your seat. Oh my god, we're opening a second instance. So, and you can see that hello sending from one is also received by the other. The fact that I'm logged in with the same account doesn't change anything. Um, it would work also with a different account. So but there are some details to be there's like some nuanced stuff to be that one needs to take care of when doing the first connection synchronization, or rather when synchronizing after you reconnect, regardless whether you shut down the application or you just lost connectivity. But whenever you reconnect, you need to be careful in order to get everything right. And um, and also, I think that we can tie these into support for editing messages. So also receiving all the messages that were modified in the meantime, like updating them basically. So I think that that's going to be the next thing that I work on. I have an idea on how to do all this stuff. I know how to make it work. I just need to do the work for it. I'm not going to give this to a contributor because I don't know. I just know already what needs to be done, and so that's I think what I'm gonna work on next, unless somebody else needs my help to be unblocked. For the people in chat who are contributing to Awebo, as I mentioned earlier, please feel free to chat on Codeberg and ask questions, post comments, opinions, have discussions in the issues page, uh, in the issues that you're interested in working on. That's the idea. In any case, thank you all, and I'll send you to somebody, and I'll see you probably tomorrow. I'm gonna send you all, I think, to anybody doing Zig. So there's Lucem Tenebras, Vulkan Swap Chain Recreation. Okay, go say hi, be nice, have fun. See you all next time.